Here we are given a quadrilateral A, B, C, D, and the midpoint of the four sides of that quadrilateral is given as P, Q, R and S. What we have to prove is that when we join this PQRS, we will get a parallelogram. Now notice that there are no special angles, there are no special sides given. That means this is a generic question. This will apply for any quadrilateral. Any quadrilateral that you take in this world, you will get that its midpoints will form a parallelogram. So shall we find out how that happens? Now this is the result that is going to help us. We are just going to apply the same result again and again. But then if you notice, this result deals with a triangle. What we have is a quadrilateral. So what do? Let us first make it into a triangle. Let me get rid of all of this and just join these two parts A and C and make it into a triangle. So now what does this result say? It says that if a line divides two sides of a triangle proportionally, do you have that condition here? Do you have a triangle? Yes. Do you have a line? Yes. Does that line divide two sides proportionally? Yes. Why is that? Because P is the midpoint of AB, which means it divides it in the ratio 1:1. Again, Q is the midpoint of BC, which means it divides it in the ratio 1:1. So do we have all the conditions? Yes. Then if we have all the conditions, what does it mean? It means that this line is parallel to the third line, the line which it does not cut. It will be parallel to the third line. Now there we have got the first part of the result. How did we get that? We considered the triangle ABC and then we applied the converse of BPT and then we got PQ is parallel to AC. Now let us put back what we removed from here. What did we remove from here? We removed the D. So we will put it back and we will put back both the midpoints also. Now what do? Again join S and R. Then this time which triangle are you going to consider? You are going to consider triangle DAC. And then what do you get? Do you get all the conditions here? Do you have a triangle DAC? Yes. Do you have a line SR? Again S. Does SR divide two sides of this triangle proportionally? Yes. Why is that? Because here S is the midpoint of DA, divides it in the ratio 1:1. DC midpoint is R, again divides it in the ratio 1:1. So what do you have? SR divides two sides proportionally, which means what? SR is parallel to the third side. So what do you have? SR is also parallel to AC. Now, if you have two lines parallel to the same line, that means what? PQ is parallel to SR. So we have proved one part of our result. We have found out that two of the sides are parallel to one another. Now all we have to do is go to the next part. Now what is the quadrilateral that we are concerned about? PQRS. We have already proved that two sides are parallel. We just have to prove that the other two sides are also parallel. How are we going to do that? Again the same result. We will start with a triangle. What triangle are we dealing with this time? BAD. Do we have a line inside it? Yes, it is PS. Does that line PS divide two sides of this triangle proportionally? Yes, it does. Why is that? P is the midpoint of AB, which means it divides it in the ratio 1:1. S is the midpoint of DA, which means it cuts it in the ratio 1:1. So PS divides AB and AD proportionally, which means what? Apply the converse of the BPT and you know that these two are parallel to one another, applying the same result. Again, now consider a different triangle. Now this is the only line left, right? So let me join that. Now next consider triangle BCD. Again, do you have all the conditions that you need? Do you have a line? Does that line divide two sides proportionally? Yes, it does. Then what does it mean? Apply this rule and you get this line which divides the two sides is parallel to the third side. Then what do you have? If two lines are parallel to the same line, it means what? They are parallel to each other. So there we have such a beautiful figure here. We have PQRS, which is not just any quadrilateral, it is a special quadrilateral. What is it? It is a parallelogram. And now remember what I told you in the beginning. This is a generic question. There are no special values given. That means whenever you are given a quadrilateral, remember, if you join the midpoints of the four sides, the result that you will get is a parallelogram. So that is all for today. Till I meet you again, you take care. Assalamu alaikum.